Okay, it's a shame we didn't caught that one live.
Oh, I can do it again. So
I,
your country is smaller than like I don't know what's the small. Maybe the state of Delaware. No, maybe bigger than Delaware. Your country's smaller than Florida, that's for sure.
yeah.
And you guys used to rule the world.
We kind of used to rule the world, like in the Golden Age. That was like, oh, God damn, when was the Golden Age? We had the 80-year war. We were at war with Spain for 80 years. Not 18, no, 80.
You guys had a war for 80 years?
Yeah.
Like, y'all must suck at fighting. Just gotta be honest with you guys. You guys suck at fighting. You may be ruling the world, but you must suck at fighting.
There was also like a truce. So it started in 1566, plus 80 years. Like, I remember this in like middle school. I loved this part of history. Where it's like, whoa, the Dutch were pretty cool, actually.
You're like, we were tough guys at one point.
At one point we were.
So, I mean, I guess big things do come in small packages. I mean, I guess the girls don't lie when they say that.
Dude, we used to have the largest fucking navy, I think, in the world. Rotterdam is still like the largest shipyard in the world. It was Japan for a while, but then Rotterdam.
I don't know. Have you been? Well, you haven't seen any of the shipyards in the Washington State. Like when I was out there, man, they got some shipyards out there. I used to.
Oh no, I believe you. I believe you.
I worked at the Navy shipyard. Not in the shipyard. I worked at like the gym there. I was the personal trainer. I was one of like the contracted personal trainers for the Navy. Like, so actually I was a fit boss. So they would put me on a ship and I would go out when they went on deployment. I would go out with them because I had to keep those fat sailors in shape. Or you're going to have them walking around looking like Paul Bauer.
Love you, Paul. Yeah, like, how did you get into that? Like, that's pretty interesting. All of a sudden becoming the personal trainer for the Navy.
Yeah, so I got out in the military. I got out of the Air Force like years before that. And then my ex-wife kept on bugging about like she kept on like always complaining like, oh, I wish I would have joined the military. And one day, like I was drunk. I was like, you know, just shut the fuck. Either go fucking do it or just shut the fuck up. So she did. So that's how I got to Washington. And you know, I was already like working out. I was like really big at one point because I got injured from the military, and then so I was kind of just like not in good shape. Like I'll show you. Let me see if I can find a picture. I'll show you how big I was, dude. It was nasty. I was like 285 pounds of like full blown lard.
Damn.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And this, like right after I had my son, I was like, you know what? Like he was like 2 years old and he was like, or he was 2 or 3 and he was running up the stairs and I was like playing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I got winded off of a flight of stairs and I was like, oh Lord. Like I thought I was having a heart attack. I was like, something gotta change. And my little brother, who was like 5 years younger than me, was like getting into like fitness. Like he was getting big into it. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm gonna compete. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so he kind of like got me to go to the gym with him. And then so when we moved to Washington for her job in the Navy, I just kept it up. Like I just kept on like working out, going to the gym, doing my thing. And I was owning a barbershop and I was working out at the gym all the time on base because base gives you free access to the gym. Mm-hmm. Why pay for a gym membership when you get it free? Mm-hmm. And I knew a couple of like the personal trainers there just to like, you know, from, you know, working out in there all the time. And, oh, cool. There I go. I found it. And, one of them was like, yo, man, you're in here enough. Like you should like, you know, think about like putting in an application for part-time.
It's funny how that happens. The same thing happened to me. I was in the gym all the time. It's like, you really seem like you're enjoying yourself. Ever thought about getting a certificate? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you serious?" Like, "Yeah, man, you could get on like as like you get in here first at the gym, and then you could get contracted onto the ships and make like big money. Go out there, go overseas for a tour, and then come back have like caked up." I was
Nice.
like, "Really?" So I did. So the picture on the
Damn.
left, 285. Um, this is 2011.
Mm-hmm.
The picture to the right, 207, 4% body fat. And that's when I got my pro card.
Nice.
Yeah. So from
Even the
flat,
fedora and everything.
hey, I have all my fedoras, bro. I love my fedoras.
Milady.
I love all my fedoras. And the funny thing is, like, it was crazy. So I just started getting into it, and then just from there, like, that's how I started competing more and more. And I only started competing because somebody told me I could never do it.
Hmm.
And the person that told me that I could never do it, he was already a competitor, and he was trying to get his pro card.
Mm-hmm.
And we were the same height and everything. So when I competed in classic physique, the division that I was in that picture, I beat him every time. I outplaced him every single time.
Nice. So those were like Schwarzenegger practices.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like, what is that? That's Pumping Iron, right? With Lou Ferrigno, where
yep,
they sit at the breakfast table or whatever, and Arnold just lays into him.
yep.
Just lays into him. Like, you sure you want to be eating that? You're gonna get all puffy on stage. That's my horrible impression, by the way.
And so like I realized I like bodybuilders. Like there's some of the nicest people and the most humblest people you will ever meet.
I was just about to ask you that, but because I remember when I did powerlifting,
Mhm.
like the other competitors were so supportive, even though they were
Yeah, they're
competing
in your
against.
corner.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
though they were competing against you or whatever, they were cheering you on. They were encouraging you. It was like the friendliest space I have ever been in.
Oh, dude, like I had guys like, like because I did powerlifting too in my off season, like to put on my size, I would just train for powerlifting, right? And I had a buddy named Gabe Jackson, and I think he went pro. He's like 6'5", like 316-pound black guy. Like he was setting records, bro, like locally. Right. And so he was my training partner. He's like, dude, I want you to be my training partner. And this guy's like, he makes me look like a midget, right? Like he makes me look small. I look like I have no muscles next to him. But at the gym that we would train at, like you would see his PR and then my PR right underneath his. Like I was the only person that was able to get remotely close. Like, and it was nowhere near close because he's doing like 1,200-pound deadlifts, right? For 1 rep maxes. And my heaviest was 750. You know, like he had me like by 450 pounds, just dwarfed me. Like he's doing 700-pound squats. My heaviest was like 550. you know, bench press,
Jesus.
he's doing like 500. My closest was 465 for 1 rep. Yeah.
Damn. It is
And
more fun though when you train with guys way stronger than you. I used to
oh
train with
yeah.
two guys, and they were pretty equal. And I wasn't even close to those two. Like one of them squatted 160 kilos, which is
That's like 300.
almost,
That's over
yeah,
300. It's like 320, 330.
yeah, something like that. And
Yeah, you just double it. That's all I do. Like when I go do kilos, I just double it, and that's like about the round, like close to the round table. Um, I did not have dinner with Lisa Sparks,
nah, I know. Hold up.
but it's okay. I know who she is, and it wouldn't be dinner. She would be dinner.
There we go. It's done. Just I don't even acknowledge those. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, and those two always went head to head, and
Mhm,
because one of the guys and we always went together,
mhm.
and need to think of a name for him because I don't want to name drop him.
Billy
The
Bob.
other Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. Everybody's a Billy Bob because nobody knows a real Billy Bob.
That's true. Although, except for what's that guy? The guy who dated Angelina Jolie.
Well, I mean, that's not even his real name.
No,
I don't know.
He does look like a Billy
I mean, he
Bob.
does look like a Billy Bob, but most
really
actors don't
does.
even use their real name.
Well, I mean, Brad Pitt looks like a Brad Pitt. No honesty.
He looks like Chad Pitt.
Chad Pitts. No, but and even though I wasn't even near them in strength, it was so goddamn motivating. So goddamn motivating to be even like a little bit closer to that. And the funniest part was, even though like they were way stronger than I was, we would always give each other shit.
Oh,
we
yeah.
would give each other shit all the goddamn time. Even though like I was the weakest of the three, like I just had the largest mouth.
Oh yeah, dude, I had like this one guy we used to work out with. So our workouts used to only be like an hour, and then like everybody, like, we started building like this workout team, like just guys that we liked in the gym. We just like, oh man, you can train with us, yeah, no problem. And it'd be like an hour, and then like we knew we had to start like cutting back with these guys when our workouts came out to 3 hours, because we're trying to hit every single workout, right, or our normal routine. But then people, we have to wait for your turn after you do your set. Somebody else does theirs, and the next person. So we started doing like all these supersets for 3 hours, and it was just like, oh, but like the pump, man, it was like you have that crowd of people, and they're all just like giving you shit, but also cheering you on, like egging you on, and you're just like, you don't care how tired you are. Like, I'm going to just keep on going. I'm not going to be the first one to quit. Like, you just hope somebody else says, all right, let's wrap it up before you do.
We would always just like stare at the clock and be like, how many we got left? Oh, God damn it. It's like, okay, 2 more sets to dinner. 2 more sets to dinner.
You're going to earn that dinner tonight, boy.
Oh, man. We had to earn it, especially with deadlifts and things like that.
Oh, man.
Even the last set, it was always like, if you could do another one, because like we always even on deadlift, we like quote unquote spotted each other, so like the form would be checked, and then like at the last rep of the set, like you put it down and you like kind of you untighten and you check real quick to your guy, and he just looks at you in a way of like, okay, the last one was good form, so you can go again.
Yeah.
Or he gave you that nod of like,
yeah, like you're done. You're done.
You're done. So it's a little like, it's like, yeah, you can do another one. It's like, oh, fuck.
And then at that moment, as you clinch, you're not just clinching the bar, you're clinching your cheeks, because there's a good chance that you might either fart or shart yourself in this next moment.
Thank whatever God may be, I never had that. I do remember the Ed Cohn stories though, but they did like powerlifting with gear, and not like Trembolone or whatever, but like the squat suits.
Yeah.
They did it with the squat suits and everything. And Ed Cohn had a story where he actually shat himself. It's like,
dude, I let off the loudest fart one time, like going down into a squat. Like I'm tightening my core, and next thing you know, so loud. I was like, hey, I had to own it. I was like, it happens.
Oh man, you know what I hated way more? When you had to burp.
Oh yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
It's like, because you take that deep breath in and it's stuck. Like the burp is stuck. Like, get out of there. It's like, God, it just wouldn't go out. It just wouldn't go out. And you put the bar back in the rack where it's like, not going. Like, what's wrong with you? It's stuck.
Somebody hit me in the chest, please. Just somebody hit me in the chest.
But we never tried that. You walk around for a couple of minutes. God damn it! Just get this over with.
It's funny because like I've been training now for well over 15 years, right? And I'm not like no pro level. Like I would like to say I'm good enough to be a competitor if I wanted to get back into the competition rink. I have enough knowledge and know how to do it. But even when I was competing, I had a whole team with me. Like I had a nutritionist, I had my workout coach, I had a cardio specialist, I had a posing coach. Like everybody, like there was this whole team. It was never just me that did the work. Like that just looked that good. No, it was I had everybody. I had more bosses telling me what to do than I had freedom. And so people don't realize, like, to stay in shape or to work out, like, yes, it's an individual thing because you have to do the work, but it's so much, you get so much more success when you have a team, when you have either like workout partners that you work out with regularly. I think one of the biggest mistakes or errors people think when they're trying to start fitness is that they could do it by themselves.
Mm.
If you don't
That's
have a support system, you're not going to do it by yourself. If you don't have somebody holding you accountable, most people cannot do it by themselves.
No, because that habit hasn't been created yet. And the beauty of the beginning when you have a support partner is that you held each other accountable a bit. Because like both of you really want to go, but every now and then something happens, you're
Yeah.
tired, you're stressed out. And even though like if you're stressed out, you should be going. But then you have that training partner who's like, no, we're going, and you kind of want to see your buddies. And that helps so much of just going. And
Well, I
then
think
the
just like,
result is an afterthought,
yeah,
weirdly enough. You know what I'm saying?
you're not going there. You're not like going there like to work out really, like to get the gains. You're going there because your buddies are there.
Yeah.
It's like going to the pub. Like, you're going to the bar to hang out with your buddies. Like, instead of having a beer, you're having a protein shake.
Mm.
You know, and it's like I even to this day, like, I rather work out with people, like knowing that somebody's at the gym waiting on me, because then it's like, oh, I'm definitely going to be there. If I tell you right now, I'm not the best at keeping my routine, like my workout schedule,
Hmm.
especially after the injuries. But if I know that like Jack's waiting for me at the gym, I don't care if I got into a car accident and I'm in a full body cast. I will be at that gym because Jack is waiting for me.
And I will show him what actual lifting looks like.
No, but it's
You
because it's
fucking manlet.
like when you have training partners, is like you plan on going balls to the wall, because like what your partner is not going to let you die. Now he's not going to let you fail, to where like you injure yourself. So it's like when you're used to training at that level, right? Working out by yourself and not being able to go as heavy, or it just kind of makes the workout feel like, eh.
True. Like it comes back to like another common error. It's funny how we can just tell stories and then get to errors instead. Here's a list of errors. No, 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 no. We'll just tell stories and then something
Oh yeah,
pops up.
no.
But like, you want to know how I finally figured out how to bench 225?
How's that?
Just fucking eat more.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Oh my God.
really? Because like I wanted to. Sorry about that. I wanted to lift in the 74 kilo class, which is actually underweight for me
I
because
was
I'm
gonna
six.
say, like, isn't that like, about maybe 30 pounds underweight
Let's see. So that
or
is
15 kilos underweight?
no, not 15. No, it's about 6 kilos.
Okay.
About 6 kilos, so 14 pounds, 15 pounds, something
Oh,
like
see,
that.
I had it backwards. Yeah, my bad.
Because I love this. For me, I like the athletic swimmer's look, but I also love powerlifting. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to go above that 74 kilo class. So I was like really hesitant to eat more because I was afraid to go above that. But then just slowly but surely eating a bit more,
You
training
got
harder,
leaner.
it still kept me at that level because I was always like 72 kilos. And
Mm.
you can eat a shit ton more, I figured out, if you train hard like that
Yep.
before you actually like gain 2 kilos.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? So
No,
yeah,
like
you can eat a whole lot more.
one of the biggest like misconceptions is that like people think that like you can't eat a lot and in order to lose weight. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, dumbass. That's like the worst thing you could do. Like is not eat. Like, I know people that would just eat like little meals. Like, they'll like if they're cutting, they'll
Mhm.
cut like 1,000 calories right out the
Oh my god.
beginning. Like, they'll go from like a 3,000 calorie, diet to like a 2,000 calorie diet and keep the intensity of the workout up. And I'm like, that's how you end up hurting yourself, and that's how you end up not losing weight. You know,
Mhm.
like if anything, like I would cut my calorie intake by like maybe 500 max, you know, at first. And then once I noticed the drop, then I bump it back up to where I was before, because I want the extra calories. The extra calories is how you end up growing your muscle and how you end up losing fat. I know it sounds weird. You got to eat to lose fat, people.
Well, it's you gotta eat to have the fuel to work out, which will burn fat.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, but and if you don't eat, if you like cut your calorie intake like drastically like that, you'll
Mhm.
actually end up gaining weight, but you'll actually end up gaining body fat, not fat loss. You actually end up gaining fat.
Yeah, because you don't have the energy to work out and do whatever.
And your body goes into that shock mode where like, I don't know when I'm going to get the next meal. So I'm going to store this here, you know, like it's kind of weird. Like, cause you know, you can't go
Yeah,
catabolic,
I
you
know
know?
what you mean, but this is why fasting is better than small meals.
Yes.
And
Fasting is different.
I am not smart enough or well versed enough in the language of the research to completely explain that process. But
Yeah.
I do know that if you want to lose weight, it is better to fast than to
Mhm.
have smaller meals all the time.
Yes, and see because your body, what basically ends up happening is like once you develop like a schedule for your fast, like
Mhm,
I know a guy that like eats one time every 12 hours,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And so for the 24-hour day, he'll split his intake, you know, down to two. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. It's 18 hours. Eats once every 18 hours.
Mhm.
But that when he eats all his calories that he would need to take with you know for the in that 18-hour period,
Mhm.
and he eats them in that one meal. And this guy does bodybuilding, then he goes to jujitsu, he like works like construction, so he's like busting his ass all day long as it is, and he'll do like an hour and a half at the gym and then go do 2 hours on the mat, like. And I'm like, this dude is jacked, chiseled, probably walking around right now like 9% body fat, and he's not competing or anything.
Like, what is that? A 4,000 calorie meal? Maybe even 5?
Seriously, yeah, it's something ridiculous like that.
God
And I
damn.
asked him, like, "How long does it take you to eat?" He's like, 45 minutes."
Christ on a horse. I
I'm
mean,
like,
that's something a lot of people underestimate, not just the amount of food you need to eat, but, like, when you're competing. Stan Efferding said it best, "If you wanna be healthy, don't compete," and he
"Yeah,
was
don't never."
100% right. He was 100% right. If you look at, like, those strongman guys, how much they need to eat and how long it takes, and just the effort they put into eating alone, it is insane.
Oh,
It is
man, you have
absolutely
no idea.
insane. Like, they have blenders for fucking pasta
Yeah,
because otherwise they just can't get it down.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like, I remember, like, my first coach really had my meals, like, cut really bad, like, you know, to help me, like, lose the fat, and it just didn't work really well for me. I placed, like, 5th in my first show, and I was kinda bummed out. 'Cause
Mhm,
I you know, I spent like a whole year in prep for that first show. So
mhm.
I was like, "Man, all right." So then I ended up getting with this other coach, the next time around, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, you're gonna eat." And I was like super excited. I was like, "Yeah, I get to eat."
Oh, yeah.
Until I had to start waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make protein pancakes. And I would have to eat protein. I'd go to sleep at 9, right? I normally would wake up at like to go to work about 7 and get to work by 9, right? So I would have to go to sleep at 9, wake up at 2:30 in the morning to make my pancakes, eat
Mhm.
them by 3, and then go back to sleep to wake up
Which is
by 5 to go do cardio now. Like it was rough. Like I was like, He's like, "All right, why are you so sad?" I was like, "Because I have to eat." He's like, "You're complaining that you have to eat?" I was like, "I don't want to wake up at 3 in the morning no more." I was like, "Bro, I
Oh, back then fasted cardio wasn't a thing. Back then
oh no."
oh no, no, no.
And you're right. Like you said, you want to be healthy, don't compete.
Yeah.
And it's true because when I was on stage, I was actually my weakest and most unhealthiest at that point.
I mean, a low body fat percentage just looks nice,
But
but it's
it's
not
it's
healthy.
it's not healthy at all.
No.
Like it's like I remember I would get sick every year right after my shows. Like I would get
Mhm.
the flu like really bad. And because the lower your body fat is, like the lower your immune system is.
Mhm.
So you like the whatever cold comes out, you're sick.
You're way more vulnerable. You're
Hmm.
way more vulnerable to illness. Like, go into public transport or whatever, pick your kids up from daycare, whatever, you will get hit by sickness. You just will. It's like I said, like having a six pack looks nice, but I'm cold all the freaking time. I am
Yeah.
cold
Mm-mm.
all the time, sir.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't really desire to have like my six pack like the way I used to have it. Like I desire to maybe have like the silhouette where like you're like, I think he has a six pack. Maybe in the light, you might see it, but that's it. Like I want to, I like to stay bigger than rather be leaner these
Mhm.
days.
I
You know,
do like leaner above bigger, but that's me. But I mean, like I said, the
well, you
cold.
already have like that swimmer's body, so you're already naturally lean.
Yeah, the only thing I want now is more developed shoulders, which just looks nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
having a nice cap on your shoulders, like your shoulder just pops.
Mhm.
Ah,
Dude, I
is-
figured out a while back. I don't even know, like a video popped up, like you have been doing lat raises all wrong, and it's like, okay, Mister YouTuber, because like that isn't the 100th video with that title, but he mentioned like you want a pronated grip during your lateral raises. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time I've ever heard of
Wait a
that.
minute, a pronatal grip while you're doing your lateral raises.
Yeah,
So
so like normally you have neutral, right?
yeah,
And you go like this.
I go like I just hold mine like this.
Yeah. So what he did was he
Oh yeah,
had
yeah,
his
yeah, yeah, like this, and then yeah. Okay, I got you.
like that facing forward or his
Yep.
knuckles facing inward. And then he would do it because apparently, well, like I knew that with the rotation of the wrist, you would address different muscle groups in the bicep. I knew
Yep.
that because bilateral, blah blah blah. But like he mentioned it, like turning your wrists addresses different heads of the shoulder. He
Yep.
mentioned it. I'm like, this makes so much sense. Why didn't I ever think of it?
Oh yeah, like, and that's actually another like common error that people think. Like, I'm I'm not a big believer in overtraining, but when you overtrain the same exercise without changing the variation, I do believe in that. I think that could end up causing an injury,
Yeah,
right?
but that's simple periodization, even.
Well, but it's like, so what you were saying, like with lateral raises, you do them like you were like this, or like like this, right? You
Mhm,
could do this way, this way, this way, right? You could hit all different variations, and you're not gonna burn yourself out, you
mhm.
know,
Oh,
because
yeah.
each little movement changes the muscle and how you're hitting that exercise,
Mhm.
you know. And I
But the
think like so people think like, oh, you could overtrain. I don't really think you could overtrain.
if you do it right, you can't. I did
No.
overtrain once with deadlift, and it's very easy to do. You know what you do? You train deadlifts, or you do deadlifts twice a week at like 90% one rep max for about 2 months. That's overtraining right there because I had a
Yep.
session. I'm like, oh, deadlifting, doing the same week, no, doing the same weight or like a half a kilo more than last week, and it just wouldn't go up. It,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it just wouldn't. But like if you do it properly, where it's like you can easily bench, let's not exaggerate here. You can easily bench 3 times a week. You can squat 3 times a week. The thing is, what you
Yeah.
need to do is you need to variate between
The-
intensity.
yes.
And you
Yes.
can even variate between variation of the whole exercise, like banded squats, Pinned squats, normal squats, paused squats. Oh, I don't know which one I hate worse, pinned or paused squats.
Oh, I hated the pause reps. Like you go all the way up, you go all the way down, and then you pause at 90 degrees, and you're just sitting there like, no, those ones burn. Yeah, you could train 3 times a week, and you're right. You have to change the variation of the intensity. And see, what I would do is like, I would hit my 5x5 or do like a 3x5. And that will be like at either, 75 to 80% my max rep, right?
Yeah.
And so that will get like, that would do the majority of the tear, right? And then let's say I did that for bench on Monday. So then Wednesday, what I'll do is like, I will do chest again. But this time I'm gonna do 4x15. So 4 sets of 15 reps, but I'm gonna probably do like, not gonna go over like 40%, right? And I'm just gonna go high volume, right? And so now you're hitting the muscles differently. So when you're doing like you're hitting your slow twitching muscles and your fast twitching muscles in a different way because the different types of lifts.
That's right. And that's how you maintain to be able to bench like 3 times a week. Because let's say Monday you have your main bench day, which is like 75-80% of the lift, which is around 5 reps. Now let's say Wednesday you do 12 reps, which is about like 60-65%, and then you sit somewhere between 8 and 10 reps on Friday, and then you start all over. And that's how you get that variation in intensity, which makes it able to bench 3 times a week. Or you could do it with dumbbells, because with dumbbells you can do different, way lower weight.
And you could do so many different things as well. Like I like doing like my dumbbells. I'll have them out like this, like, oh, wait a minute, here. And then I'll do one arm at a time. Right. And then I'll switch. Right. And then do pause, like, go to 90, hold it there, and then do one at a time like that. Like, and I would do 10 reps of that for each little variation. And it would be like, 40 reps at the end of one set.
Damn.
But like, I'm not going like over like 35 pounds.
Oh.
But it feels like I'm doing like 300 by the time you hit that 40th rep.
Jesus, 40 reps. I never go above 20. I never go above 20.
Man. Like so out here, we have the Mecca. Like, and I've gone to the Mecca many times. I know many guys over there. I've been lucky enough to like run into like, well, Arnold is in there, like, like I didn't talk to him. I just got to like sit there like a little girl, like a little like, simp or fanboy, just like, but like I like going to the Mecca. We had also like CT Fletcher would also do some stuff in Long Beach at this place called Metroflex. It was like,
is CT still alive?
I don't know. I haven't heard that he died yet. And the guy's like lived through 3 heart attacks or whatever. So I'm like,
damn,
that guy is like a monster. But like going there when he was working out and he's training people, like nobody's safe around him. He sees what you're doing. He's like, hey, you, come on, let's go. I'm like, okay. Like those guys are cool. And like, I worked with Lou Ferrigno's daughter. You know who Lou Ferrigno is, right?
Yeah, that's the guy from
he played the Hulk.
Yeah, but like he was the guy that Arnold psychologically messed with. Yeah.
So his daughter runs his supplement. She used to run his supplement company. I don't know if they still do it. And she would like, hire us to come out to her like supplement shows and stuff. And we got to like, hang out with Lou and all that stuff. It was cool. But I think like the most nicest people are the people that get judged the most for vanity. Like everybody thinks like bodybuilders are like really like fitness enthusiasts. They're just doing it because they're vain. Oh, they're just so vain. You're just so vain. All you do is think about yourself. You're so vain. And I'm like, those are like the nicest people. You know how many times like I would ask somebody in the gym, if I see somebody doing something new I haven't done yet, I'd be like, hey man, can you tell me a little bit about this exercise? Like, I haven't seen anybody do this variation before. Can you like give me some pointers? Yeah, like, oh yeah, bro, no problem, man. So this is what you want to do. This is why you hit it like this, because you hit it like they'll give you like the whole rundown, like give you like the personal training experience.
Hmm.
And if they were that vain and so full of themselves, they wouldn't have time to do that.
Mm-mm. Oh no. Like I've had guys come up to me like who started out with squatting because they didn't know how to and blah blah, blah ask me about it and things like
Yeah,
that because I was always squatting. Like at least 9 times out of 10 I would be squatting. It's like
dude,
wow.
I don't like.
I'm-
I squatted once a week. That's it.
I squatted 3 times a week.
No.
I've gotten back into it. There's been a long period where I didn't feel like squatting, but I've been getting back into it. And it's like it's that one exercise that resembles life so
Well, it's that
well.
one exercise that actually I think it resembles death, if anything, because it's like if you fuck up on this one, you know, you could die.
Always squat with safety bars, people. I'm like common mistake number, I don't know how many. No freaking safety bars. Use them. I don't care how low the weight is. I don't care how high the weight is.
Yep.
Use your goddamn safety bars. Just do it because you're gonna wish you did.
You know
But
what a really common training error is thinking that you always have to go super heavy.
oh yeah, you don't.
Like like no, you don't have to go heavy at all. You could go as light as you want. It's time under tension. That's what people don't realize. It's like your muscles grow through time under tension. The longer that your body's under that tension,
Hmm.
the more your muscles are getting worked out, the more it's going to help it grow. It's like I'm going to be 40 this year, so I really don't try to go like when I bench. I don't try to go over 315 anymore. That's like my max right now. I'll stay under 315. Could I go heavier? Sure, I can. I don't want to. I don't see the point anymore. Like, and your body's only going to develop the muscle mass like naturally, like so much. And even if you're on TRT or you're taking gear, still net your body could only grow so big before it actually becomes detrimental to your body.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could get too big to where it's like dangerous for you because your heart is having to pump. And now the bigger your muscles are, bigger your body is, your heart's pumping harder. That's why
Hmm.
like most bodybuilders, like the biggest issue that they have is cardiac arrest issues
Hmm.
because they're so big.
But because I don't know enough of this,
Mhm.
and I find it disingenuous to write off like Rich Piana's death
Oh no,
and
that wasn't due to the steroids.
yeah, like a lot of people would go immediately for the steroids. Like there was a
Yeah.
bodybuilder last year who died,
Mhm.
and they immediately went for, oh, it's because of steroids.
Yes, it's
But they're not dropping like flies.
no.
Now, like I don't know Mr. Piana, and with all due respect, but I do think that man used other substances besides steroids as well.
Let's just say Rich had a pharmacy.
Yeah. Now I ain't saying. I'm
I ain't
just
like
saying.
I knew a lot of guys that worked out with Rich, that were part of his like what 5%, 5%ers. I think that's what his
Mhm.
supplement brand was. I actually tried out to be part of his team. I got invited um to the trials, but 3 weeks later, that's when he passed away.
Hmm.
And I've met him at like shows and stuff, like when they have their booths and everything. But yeah, he's a nice guy. Everybody thinks like he was this dick. He really wasn't a dick. Like, he was a dick to people when they were trying to be a dick or trying to get him with a gotcha moment.
Mm.
Then
Mhm.
he would snap off. But most people don't die. Like, steroids is not the cause of death. All right. What's the cause of death typically has to do with something with like liver issues. I know a lot of guys that end up having really bad liver issues and kidney issues because they're like, you got to think everything that you put in your body, your liver and kidneys have to filter,
Mhm.
right? So if you're taking a lot of gear, that's more work on your liver and kidneys. And if you're not cycling off properly and you're just blasting the whole time, you're putting you're putting your liver and kidneys through a lot of work. I knew a guy, he was 30 years old and he was just blasting gear for like 5-6 years straight. And he ends up, telling me, he's like, yo, I gotta get off this stuff. I have to stop. I'm not gonna compete anymore. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, the doctor told me I have a liver as it looks like the age of a 60-year-old man that's been, drinking his whole life. It's like,
Christ.
dude, you're like 30 years old. What the hell? Because he was, abusing the gear, but it wasn't the gear that killed him. It was his liver failing that was going to be killing him.
Yeah,
And
but then
it's
you
not so that if you do it responsibly, if you do it correctly, I don't think you're going to lose any life expectancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nuke 8-hour arms workout. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, unrealized thought asked, like, what is too big for you guys? I'm like, Rich Piana was kind of up there.
Yeah,
Rich Piana was up there, where it's like,
I would say like even like Kai Green is too big. Like, so the modern day bodybuilder today, I think is too big. Like they have a gut, but you still see a six pack. So like when they have like that like barreled stomach, right? And it's like really protruding out. Like the best bodybuilding look was always the classic. So like Arnold's look, like so whatever, like so what I competed in, classic physique, that was the original bodybuilder physique. And I think that look, the classic physique or the original bodybuilder physique, that's like the best. Anything bigger than that, I don't think it's a good look.
You still have like the men's physique category as well, right? They have like the swim trunks instead of the Speedo.
That's what I first did. I did my swim trunks. And then I did after that, I just grew to like I was just too big for the swim trunks. Like every time I would get trunks, they would fit like great around my waist, but I couldn't get them down my legs because my legs like got really big over the years. And they were already docking me down because my legs were too big for physique. So like you will lose points if you're too big for this class, if you're just too muscular for this class, because physique is like swimmer's body. They want you lean. They want you to have like the wide, up, top, but then they want your legs, nice and trim. And if you have big legs, you'll lose points.
Yeah, but like with the PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, what you see a lot of now in like TikTok and Instagram is that a lot of guys who are like completely yoked get very popular on the social media apps, and you see like teenagers on SARMs.
Oh yeah.
Like talking about being irresponsible with that stuff, where it's like, and like I don't want to moral British cigarettes here, but it's like, as a teen, you don't need to go on PEDs, know. And it's like, work out first until you kind of know what your natural limit is, and that even goes on for a long time. And in my humble opinion, but this is me, if you're not competing, don't touch it.
Thank you. Yeah, I would tell, I used to tell guys that all the time. Like, I didn't start taking gear until 27. I was 27. And that's when I knew I wanted to go for my pro card, right? That's when I knew I was like, I want to get my pro card. I got my pro card at 33, Yeah.
True.
And so that's when I started running gear, right? Is at 27. And because I knew everybody I was already competing with was already on it. And if I wanted to place better, I needed to be competitive on stage with them. But I tell everybody, like, if you're not competing, don't even start taking testosterone until your levels naturally drop.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't benefit you in the long run, because I know guys, and myself included, I have to take TRT because I was on it for so long that my natural production shut down. Like if I'm not on, if I don't take TRT, like my natural testosterone levels would be like at 180. That's horrible. Like the what they consider low is 300. So 180 is really bad. Right. And so I tell guys like to avoid like having to live on it forever, you know, don't use it until you need it, you know, and like I don't mind having to inject every, week, but like that's fine. I'm good with it. But like if you think it's gonna be a problem for you, then don't let it become a problem for you. And if you're a young kid, like you don't need to be doing shit until like your 30s. All right, seriously, because naturally your muscles don't fully develop until you're about 30. Like you will hit your peak around 30. Like that's going to be your strongest naturally.
I'm on the down. God damn
And
it.
it's like at that point, well, it's like in your 30s. Like I think like what did Kai Green say? He's like 35. When he said he was 35 years old, he was the strongest.
Damn.
And it's like, so if you don't need to get on gear, don't get on gear. Like
that is like
now peptides is a different thing. I think peptides is going to be it's what's going to end up slowly taking away steroids. I think peptides are going to be, I love peptides. I think people should be on peptides more than I think they should be on testosterone or any type of gear.
Why is that?
Well, because like these peptides are one, safer, they're more natural. They're not as synthetic. Like, like any type of testosterone that you take or any type of, steroid you take is a synthetic. So they're mixing it with some type of oil, right? Sometimes it's like, really bad oil, a thick oil. So like basically using like Crisco cooking oil.
Yeah, that's my issue. I don't know if it's SARMs. Oh, no. I'm thinking of Synthol.
Oh, yeah. No, Synthol. Yeah.
Oh God, Christ in heaven.
Do you see that guy with the big ass arms and the note? Like like he has these big ass biceps, but his body doesn't match his biceps.
Oh my God. And they just keep shooting it in. And for people who don't know what Synthol is, it is like oil in a needle, and they just blow up the muscle, and it is.
And they're not even
grotesque.
strong. It's not. They're not strong. They're weak as hell, and it just looks ridiculous. Yeah, I know this guy. He got it done. He works out at Muscle Beach every once in a while, right? And he has these ridiculous, probably like maybe 25, 30-inch arms, right? And he has like no shoulders, no chest, no nothing. It's all bicep. He's all bicep. He's like, he walks around looking like Popeye. He looks retarded as hell. And have you seen like the videos of the guys like where it pops?
Yeah.
Like when they're like, as they're flexing, like they'll start like bleeding and like all the fluid and stuff is coming out. Oh, dude, it's bad. I see a lot of guys like from like South America that do that. It's like,
yeah, I know, man, but it's that, I don't know where it comes from, but it's that innate urge to like always be bigger. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's also that lack of effort. Like I've seen, what was it? There was some plastic surgeon, he and his wife, they surgically inserted abs. Where I'm like, why don't you just go to the fucking gym for a year, lose the fucking weight, deadlift a bit? Like I never train abs. I never.
No, I never did either.
Squats and deadlifts. All you need. Squats and deadlifts. Done. Fight me.
Abs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Abs is all about diet. Like, I'll tell you guys this right now. Like, here's another like misconception. They think that the more you work out, like the better shape you'll be in. True, but not true. 90% of any type of physique change is in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
It's what you eat. 10% of getting in shape and competing is the workout. 90% of it is the diet. Hands down.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. You can train all you like, but if your diet does not, also like a common misconception, People always ate. Sorry, Christ, come on. People always eat too little
Yep.
or way too much protein
Yep.
when they go
Oh,
for the
yeah.
shakes and everything. Where it's like, dude, 1.6 times your body weight
Body
in
weight.
kilo. That
Yep.
comes down to around. They used to
It's
say like
almost
a
like
pound,
it's almost like a
a gram per pound, but that's not it.
yeah.
It's like 1 gram per 1.8
Yeah,
pounds, something like
it's
that.
like
It's less than 1 per pound.
yeah, it's like basically how do I say it? Because I always did ounces. I always weighed it out by ounces. So once I
Right.
knew what I needed, I just did it by ounces. It's just easier for me. So like I would eat like about 6 ounces of protein, whatever protein it was 6 ounces of protein per meal. That's all I needed. I rarely did a whole lot of shakes. Like I didn't like the gas I would get out of them. But like no, you're right. People like will overdo protein and think that oh, I got to cut all carbs. No, you listen, dummy. Your brain works off of carbs. You need carbs or you don't think right. That's how you end up doing stupid shit.
I mean, you can go without the carbs. There you go, more carnivore, things like that.
Yes, but like even when you do carnivore, like if you don't do it right, like there's that period where you could really fuck yourself up.
If you don't get enough fats in you, because then
Yes,
you get the
that's the
rabbit
thing.
starvation.
Yes, like if you don't, so people think like, oh, carnivore, just eat meat. No, you got to eat meat and fats, buddy. You got to have the fats because the fats compensate for the lack of carbs. Okay,
Which makes
but
you go into ketosis.
exactly. If you just cut out all carbs and you try to like do it as lean as you can, like fat wise, you're gonna fuck yourself up.
Rabbit starvation, a client of mine pointed that out to me because we were talking about it. Like, well, with carnivore, you want to have your fats and blah, blah, blah. He's like, have you ever heard of rabbit starvation? I'm like, no. I'm like, please tell me. He's like, yeah, that's what happens when you don't get your fats in you. I'm like, really? So I looked that up. Apparently, it came from like, I don't know if it were hunters or whatever, but all they had was rabbit. Rabbit is very, very lean meat.
Yeah, very lean.
All they ate was meat, and they still fucking starved because all they had was protein, nothing more, just no fat, nothing. This is why, like, get your chicken thigh. Get your fucking chicken thigh. I keep saying it. Fuck chicken breast. Get chicken thigh.
Well, like I would say, like depending on like, I mix them both. Like I'll have like a good mixture of both chicken breast and chicken thigh, right? Because I will eat them all at the same time. Like I'll have like on my days that I know it's like if I'm carb cycling, on my days that I'm carb cycling and I have low carbs, I'm eating chicken thighs, right? On days that like I have carbs, I'm probably going to be eating chicken breast. And like everybody's body is different. Like and that's the thing, like fitness and working out and training, it's so individualized. If anybody gives you like a cookie cutter like workout plan, they're not a real personal trainer.
No, it's like, do you have an injury? That's number one. That's like the number one question. Do you have an injury? From there on out, you go, are there any specific movements you are not allowed to do?
Yeah.
And then it's like, what is available in your gym? It's also a big one. And then you can go from like, okay, what do we need to hit? Well, of course, like the large muscle groups: legs, chest, back, shoulders.
Well, your biggest muscle groups, like, and even for guys that want to know this, like your biggest muscle groups that release natural testosterone, like free flowing testosterone, is your legs and your back.
This is why squats is so important.
Yep, squats and deadlifts. Now, so I love since I've like had motorcycle injuries, putting anything on my back is not going to work for me. I love the pit shark though, the belted squat.
Oh yeah,
where you put the weight in. You could, dude. I still go up to like 405 on that, and
Damn.
it's putting all that weight on your legs, right on your hips, and you're not compressing your discs on your back. You're not, for me, like sometimes getting my shoulders back there is a little hard,
Mhm.
and it's like you don't have to deal with none of that. And so I'll
No.
do those squats, but I won't do traditional squats anymore.
No. Well, exactly. So let's say you were a client of mine and it's like, well, okay, Glenn, do you have an injury? Yes, I had a motorcycle accident. I
Yep.
can't put anything on my back. It's like, well, we got to train legs. So how do we do that then?
Yep.
Do leg presses, leg extensions. But if your gym has a belt squat, go for the fucking belt squat.
Yep. Lunges. People overlook lunges all the time.
Bulgarian split squats.
Yes. Oh, that'll make a man out of you.
Oh my God. If I hear another guy say a real man, I will post a photo of Bulgarian split squats. Not only that, I will post a photo of a woman doing Bulgarian split squats.
Hey, have you noticed that like women tend to like do better at legs than men?
Yeah,
Like
of course they do.
percentage wise, like their for their weight.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
I was like, people are like, well, why is that? I was like, because they got to do all that pushing when they knock that baby out. It's natural.
Dude, my physical therapist, a friend of mine and I were talking about something, and my physical therapist, an absolute G, by the way. This guy would walk through the gym in the middle of the summer with all the people on the treadmill with a fucking cornetto, licking his ice cream. Morning, people.
Don't you just like hate guys like that? You're like, you know what?
He was such a lovable asshole. He really was. But we were talking about pregnancy because his wife was pregnant or whatever. He walks in, he's got 3 kids himself. It's like, guys, just let's be honest here. If pregnancy was hard, God would have let man do it.
Oh, it's funny.
It's like, that was him. And it's like, and he would just leave. And then he would be gone. It's like, yeah, if pregnancy was hard, God would have let a man do it. It's like,
And here's another thing: like people think like being a trainer is easy.
no.
Like it's not a whole lot of time. No, it's fucking countless hours. You don't know how. Like once we get your bio and all your history, right? And then we see what like any doctor's notes or any type of like meal restrictions or food restrictions. Now we have to create something for you, and it's like we have to anything that we think we create, we have to go through the checklist of everything that it's on your history. Can they do this? Can they eat this? Can for this duration, is this type of workout good for their their heart rate? They're just wherever they're at. And it's like, no, we got to customize it. A real good trainer customizes it. I would say a real good trainer would probably spend about good 5 to 6 hours on one plan, and that's doing meals and workout routine. If they're getting really involved, like with your supplement intake, your rest, your like your cardio duration, like where they want your heart rate at, like that takes a lot of time to compile up and do it.
Then you would get really into specifics. What I always do, like with Clyde, because who I like to train is just your average Joe. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to compete. I don't want to do whatever. Like, I might want to have some abs or whatever, but I just want to learn how to lift.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, I really want the basic lifter. And from there, with a meal plan, what I like to do is to teach them the simplicity of it. Like,
Mhm.
hey, this really doesn't have to be hard. But the only thing I need you to do in the beginning is learn how to use MyFitnessPal.
Oh yeah.
Learn how to use it so that you get an idea, so that you get an insight on what you're consuming.
Yep.
That's all I ask. And from there on out, like I'll teach them, like, okay, your activity level, put it one lower than what you think it is, because people like to overestimate that one. And then you get to that golden ratio. That golden ratio I love, where it's like you're losing weight, but you're gaining strength. Now, is that possible? Yes, that's possible.
It is.
Not losing weight, but like you're getting more toned in the mirror and you're gaining strength. That is that perfect golden ratio of enough calorie and protein consumption where you're develop progress in the gym and you're decreasing body fat. But before you get there, you need to work with calorie tracking. where it's like, okay, we have put MyFitnessPal in a setting where it's like, okay, my activity level is this. So it gives you a certain amount of calories. Okay, you weigh in once a week, not
Yep.
every day, once a week, because it fluctuates all the time, once a week. Then we look at the next week. Did you lose weight? Good. How did it feel in the gym? Were you energized?
Yep.
Did you gain strength? How was your energy levels during the day? How was your sleep?
Yep.
Because if you're tired all the time and your sleep isn't well, maybe you're not consuming enough calories.
Yep.
So we're either going to up it a bit or we're going to let it there.
Yeah. And we're going to let you get your body to acclimate to it.
Yes. And we're going to keep it there until we get to that point where it's like, hey, I'm losing weight, but I'm not gaining strength anymore. Fine. But then comes like, by how much are we going to up the calories?
Yep.
I would say around 100.
Yeah, I would
Not too much.
never jump really high.
No.
It's like when you do like reverse dieting, when you're coming down like from like competing, when you're like really lean and you're allowing more meals to come back in. You don't just start eating right away, like eating, normal again. No, it takes like a month process to do it correctly.
Because it's there's no English translation for this. In Dutch, we call it passen en meten, which means fitting and measuring. It's like measuring and fitting.
Sounds like you said pussy and something.
No. Passen, Passen, and meten, Meten.
Okay.
So fitting and measuring is the Dutch language is very. I have stories.
I want to learn it just so I can start speaking Dutch around people and they don't know what I'm saying, and I'm like, talking shit.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that during Rule Zero every now and then.
Yeah,
and somebody makes fun of me when I'm Dutch. I've just cursed them out in Dutch, and nobody knows what I'm saying, and I'm like, oh.
That's what you said to me that time.
Yes, exactly.
I knew he wasn't telling me sweet nothings.
No, and I can get away with it because like the YouTube sensory thing doesn't catch that.
So. Yeah, because your country is about the smallest as like the smallest state in America. So
I think we're smaller than this. Wait, Hawaii is the smallest state, right?
I think so. That or Delaware. Delaware's pretty small too.
Really? Like I'm just like from the top of my head, I'm like Hawaii's got to be the smallest one.
Yeah, probably.
Huh. Okay.
I think Hawaii is still bigger than your country.
It could very well be. It could very well be.
I mean, the Rock is bigger than your country.
True.
No, people don't realize like when you get when personal trainers like have like and they're good and they charge you at a pretty steep rate, it's not because they're just trying to like milk you for money. A good trainer is worth his weight, in gold. Especially if they're really like they're really communicative. Like I knew this guy that was a trainer. He would contact his client list like every other day. It'd be a text message or a phone call or whatever, and it's just like checking in. Like he never waited for them to check in with him. He always checked in with them. And like it's like that type of diligence, that is just
but also takes into account the external factors. It's like, hey, like you work on the road a lot, like is everything going well? How is the diet thing going? Blah 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 blah. How like family stress?
Yes. You end up becoming a freaking counselor half the time.
Well, which I don't mind in all honesty.
No, I know, but it's just like because you don't realize like people think it's like your body could be fine, but if you're mentally struggling, if you're stressed out,
the gym is hard.
The gym is miserable.
Yeah, the gym is, and that's why we've gone full circle.
Yes.
Then a training partner would be the best, who just drags you through it.
Yep.
Who's like there and who looks at you and who goes like, look, take the weight down.
Yeah.
Just take the weight down. Like you're not there. Take the weight down.
He always needs Alex to kind of let you know, like, to bring you back to earth.
Yeah.
It's
like you can't do this. You can't do this. Man, I love that with the powerlifting meets where there was this one time, my last meet even, where I messed it up a bit because you have to put down the weight you're gonna lift in between your turns.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's gonna go up with 2.5 kilos. So I started out. I wanted to end with 2 red plates. So I don't know how much that is. Like
Isn't that like 25 kilograms?
Yeah, per plate.
Yeah, so that's 45. I was a little bit over 40, like 55 pounds, I think.
Something like that. It was a total of 125 kilos.
Yeah, yeah.
So 315, little under 300 pound.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, including the bar and yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
But I started out at what I wanted to do was 107 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Then no, what was my plan again? I can't remember my plan, but I wanted a bigger jump than 2.5 kilos. I remember that. And I ended up like my first turn went okay, but then I didn't communicate the next weight. And they just put 2.5 kilos up there. I'm like, wait, no, it needs to be higher. It needs to be higher. Otherwise the jump is going to be too high.
Mm-hmm.
So I lifted it and it went well. And they're like, what are you going to do for your last weight? And I just put down the weight I wanted. It's like, no, I came here today for that weight. That was like a
how big of a jump was it?
That was a 12.5 kilo jump. Now for powerlifting and that 1 rep max thing, that could be significant. Don't underestimate.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
And one of the trainers of one of the competitors, because I was there alone, my training buddy couldn't make it. He's like, kid, that jump is too high. You know that, right? I'm like, probably, but I'm here for a reason. And he just looks at me. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'll cheer you on, but I don't know.
He's like, I'm not signing off on this.
I lifted it. Lifted it. I got it. And he looks at me. He's like, kid, you're insane, but you did it. Those were always the moments where I was like, yeah, I'm fucking insane, but I did it. And I was like,
yeah, it's like, I gotta tell people, I when it comes to working out, you got 2 choices in life. You either can make moves or you can make excuses. Mm-hmm. Which one are you going to do? And the other one I always tell people is like, push till failure. You don't know how strong you really are until you get into that rep range or that set where you're like, I don't know if I could get the next 3 reps. When you're doing it at that point, that's when you're growing. You're not growing in your comfort zone. You grow outside your comfort zone. So you have to push till failure. You want those last 3 reps to be like, this bar may not go up. It may come down. And that's why a good training partner is good to have there. Because one, you don't want your training partner to take off too much weight when they're spotting you, because then they rob you of the set. They robbed you of that push.
Oh man, I've had that where it's like you want a spot. Like if you spot somebody during the squat, hands under the armpit, but let them hoover.
Yep.
I've had people touch the bar. I'm like, never mind.
I had people like literally like not go low enough when I'm doing squats, like, and they have their arms, underneath me. And it's like my arms are resting on their arms, and like they're doing like 50% of the weight. So I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, am I gonna work out too? Like,
are they touching the bar? It's all you, buddy. It's all you.
I hate that. Like, I tell people like, I'll let you know when I need a spot.
Yeah, it's like
if I haven't trained with you in a while, like regularly, I'll let you know. Like, don't touch the bar. I don't need to lift off. I don't need anything that I'll do it myself. Yeah. Like, I just need you when the oh shit meter goes off. Yeah. And the oh shit meter is like when you see me stuck and I'm not either coming up or I'm not getting the bar up. When I'm stuck, that's when you touch it.
Otherwise,
leave it the fuck alone.
Fucking hands off of that thing.
Yep.
Let's wrap this one up. Where can people find you, Mr. Producer?
Oh, they can find me at my channel at Glenn Lawrence _presents. Mr. Glenn Lawrence on Twitter, Glenn _ Lawrence _ presents on Instagram. Yeah, you can find me in those places.
Guys, I tagged Glenn in the title. Please click that. Go subscribe to Glenn. For me, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below your thoughts of this show. And if you want to support the channel, you can click the join button. Get my version of the Book a Book audiobook for free together with the Gendernomics audiobook bundles. Thank you for all the supporters I have. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the viewers. And I'll see you guys Friday during Red Evening. Cheers.